Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations. They call themselves the Bad Batch.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Empire Radio Podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And welcome to the only place in the universe that is going to be covering Jeremiah's Bad Batch fan fiction.
True.
Only in this universe, but there is the multiverse, so there's an infinite amount of me telling this story.
Hey, hold on. If this is the WandaVision thing, I still haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
Me either.
No.
Actually, yeah, me either.
Dude, it's nuts.
I've been so busy.
Is
lately.
that good nuts? Because I've heard mixed
I have
it's-
to.
reviews.
It's like no one knows what the heck is going on, and it's meant to be confusing, and
and it is.
it's supposed to be like corny, like 50s, 60s show. So like it makes sense. You just gotta like wait for it to all come out to you.
Oh, speaking of cool things, someone just said in the chat. Speaking of chat, but they said unless you win the lottery, then everyone will be able to see this.
I do have my Mega Millions ticket and Powerball ticket.
Aren't they drawing tonight?
Tonight is Mega Millions.
Yes.
$850 million.
That's more than you would need.
And
Just a little bit.
Powerball is 730 tomorrow night.
You could pay off our student debt and make your show. I think that's what you should do.
You know what, Jeremiah? I wonder if that would be enough to buy into Disney to like get first access to everything. That might be enough.
I become an investor, so like I get to like
Yeah.
get the lowdown. Anyway, this is not what we're here for.
Anyways, yeah. So I'll revise what I said. It's the only place in the galaxy that's going to be covering this fan fiction, unless Jeremiah wins the lottery, and then everyone's going to know about it. So speaking, I guess we've already kind of mentioned this. Speaking of the chat, just a few shopkeeping items. One, if you're just listening to this in audio format, but you want to do something more, head on over to twitch.tv/what? Empire Radio? Empire Radio?
Twitch.tv/Empire Radio. All one
No
word.
space.
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
On Tuesday nights, potentially Fridays in the future as more shows come out. We do our thing on Friday nights too, depending on the show. But for now, it's just Tuesdays. And we try to shoot for 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
And you figure out all the other time zones. on your own.
you can.
I was
do
gonna
it
say,
yourself.
what is Mountain Time?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that right now.
Time.
No one
Okay.
lives in the mountains, anyways. It's a proven fact.
Like Denver, Colorado, like
Nope,
Salt
that
Lake
doesn't
City,
matter.
maybe.
Right?
Oh wow! I guess they don't matter to Andrew.
That's not what I'm saying.
Sorry to our fans in the mountains right now that are about to rage quit Empire
Yeah,
Radio.
I was gonna say
I'm
me and
sorry.
Jeremiah support you still.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeesh. Sorry,
Andrew
guys.
doesn't like the mountains.
Anyway, no, I love the mountains. North Carolina has great mountains. I just haven't been over there because of the vid.
The vid of Cove.
Yeah, I don't want to get the vid.
All right, we should get back on track. But
Thank you, Jeremiah. What I was saying is that we stream these episode recordings live on Twitch Tuesday nights. So right now, speaking of the chat, we have one of our normal reoccurring stream watchers said Denver isn't real. I can neither confirm nor deny that, nor does that actually express the views, the collective views of the Empire Radio podcast. But that is one of the things in the chat. Our chats are always fun. Sometimes, depending on the content, we will be reading feedback and questions and whatnot. Someone made a comment about my screen background, Jeremiah.
oh, you still have it up there. You didn't even put it back to the other one.
No.
I didn't even. Oh gosh.
So for those of you
Terrible.
for those of you that are listening to the audio, but you're listening to this in the future, and the YouTube episode has been posted at the stream. I have the thumbnail for the YouTube video as my background.
So like Jeremiah's face is this on
yeah, it's just over over my left, but everyone else's right shoulder. Jeremiah's face is there. And that's a good segue to the fact that today we are going to be talking about Jeremiah's fan fiction, more specifically season 2 episodes 5 and 6. 5 and 6, everyone.
Right above.
That's what we're talking about today. But really quickly, before we dive in, on top of the Twitch, if you want another way to interact with us and the other fans of the podcast, we have a Discord. It's not a secret anymore, but you can join. If you still haven't joined, you can join. Head over to the links on our Facebook and our Instagram pages, respectfully. It's in our Instagram bio, and then a pinned post on our Facebook page. Click that, go through the process, join the Discord. It's really fun.
It is. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. I feel kind of bad because I've been busy and I haven't been able to talk to people as much as I like to this week, but there's a lot of great conversations. There's really good memes posted.
Yeah, the memes are solid on there, that's for sure.
They're pretty dank-ferric, if you ask me.
Yeah. If you like prequel memes or any memes for that matter, any Star Wars memes, this is going to be your place. Also, we're talking about the Light of the Jedi book as well, kind of in a non-spoiler way. I mean, we're talking about a little bit of everything. So if you love Star Wars, you like our podcast, you want to interact with us and the other fans more, head on over, join the Discord, and let's get the conversation started. We'd love to meet you.
So before we dive in, there was a question, Andrew, that Jeremiah asked you on our Discord, and it was, is Jeremiah farther than you in the book?
Oh, yeah. I told you I had a busy week. Come on.
I know. I'm just saying, like, as a listener, a longtime listener, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
if Jeremiah is farther along in a book than Andrew.
Now, to be fair, I have been listening to the Thrawn Chiss Ascendancy book 1 on the audiobook as well. So I'm kind of juggling 2 books at one time. What do you mean? Don't hold up your hands.
What does that
like
mean?
This. You know you'd be doing it too.
Your job is to read one book. The other one is on your own free time.
That's your own problem.
Do you want me reading a hardcover book while I'm driving?
Yeah. Yes.
How committed are you to the Empire?
Jeremiah. The Empire Radio Podcast does not promote reading and driving. Reading is a great thing. Just only do it if you're in the passenger seat. Because reading and driving is arguably worse than texting and driving.
That's like the same thing.
Yeah.
All right. So we should.
But anyways, I'm proud of you, Jeremiah. That's what I wanted to say.
I'll read some tonight. I promise.
What chapter are you on, Jeremiah?
I finished 28 last night. So
nice. I finished part 3.
Oh, big flag.
So you finished the book?
No. Oh, sorry. I'm at part 3 now.
Oh, okay.
So, I was gonna say, yeah. Then you would have finished.
But part 3 is small compared to the whole book.
It is, yeah.
So I'll probably be done before the next episode for sure.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's fly on over to the next segment. All right. Jeremiah, we've done enough talking.
Yep.
Take us away.
So last week we had a surprise guest in our
Bad
Batch. What?
Sorry, I'm totally sorry. For those of you that don't know what's going on, this would be a really good opportunity. If you're a first-time listener, thank you. Thank you for being here. Don't stop. Just pause. Because this is... nothing's going to make sense to you. We're covering a fan fiction, season 2 of a fan fiction that Jeremiah's writing for the upcoming, in place of the upcoming Bad Batch animated TV show, not the fan fiction. We did season 1 last year. If you don't know what's going on, all of those episodes are up on YouTube, and you can obviously go back in our podcast feed and listen to those as well. Do that before you, and the first 2 episodes of season 2. But you have been warned. Spoilers are now ahead.
Yep.
You know what I realized? Empire Radio is a year old now, you guys.
It is.
Wow. What are we gonna do for our birthday?
I don't know. We gotta do something. But that's a different conversation.
They still have those?
Yes.
Yeah. They have one in North Carolina.
One.
The only one I've seen. Actually, no, there's two. There's one about 10 minutes down the street from my apartment.
I think they still have one in Maple Grove, Jeremiah.
There is.
Maple Grove.
But also, this is not as.
Okay. All right. Anyways, Bad Batch fan fiction. So
please
last
continue.
week,
Yes,
the Bad Batch, they go to Coruscant to find some nanodroids, and first they go to the bar / nightclub 79s. They kind of take some drunk clones, like illegally, and to get them because they work at a tech facility, and so they wake them up. They take their biochips out, get them up, but they also at the bar they find Commander Wolf, and they rescue Commander Wolf, and he is now working on the inside of the Empire as a contact for the Bad Batch and other saved clones. But in the tech facility, when they went to go get the nanodroids and steal those, they found a fan favorite who was a slave of the Empire, Babu Frick.
Yeah.
So
and
they
Frick
steal.
Were we happy?
Yep, they steal the nanodroids. They rescue Babu Frick because he's a droid smith and he knows the ins and outs of these nanodroids. He was enslaved to work on those. And he says that he will help him. He will help create the programming for the nanodroids to go into a clone system and take away the biochip. And he says, if in the clone strike, if you can do this, we'll give you safe passage to Kijimi to escape the Empire. So that's where we were at now. And so one little recap thing from last season I want to mention before we get into this episode. In episode 3 of season 1, Rex talks about his findings on the biochip, and there's some preliminary things that he knows. And one of the things that he states is that the biochip, it has a unique genetic makeup that isn't human. So just remember that for this episode.
Oh, that's right, because it's Gungan.
Let me get to it. Just calm down. So,
sorry, guys.
So episode 5 is called Hunted. And so
now this is your favorite episode, right?
This is my favorite episode.
I also want to make known that earlier in the week in the Discord, I posted a GIF of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think it's from Commando. I don't remember the actual movie, but he's like putting war paint all over his body in the jungle. And what did you say, Jeremiah?
I said that looks like what some of the characters in this episode are going to be doing. And then I was like, wait, is that live action Wrecker?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is the type of stuff, like, it's not a spoiler, but it seems like it's going to be an action-packed episode based on that.
Yeah.
All right. That's your theory. We'll see what happens. So episode 5, Hunted. So this takes place, we'll say, about a week after they escaped the tech facility, and they are currently just stationed in space in the light cruiser. They don't have a new planet to hide on yet, so they're just kind of just hanging out in space. And Tech, Babu Frick, and the medical team that they have are working together to figure out how to program these nanodroids the best they can to tackle the task of taking apart a biochip. And so Tech, he has the translation software in his gadgets. So he's trying to help translate with Babu Frick because he has broken English, primitive English. Like, it's kind of hard to think. So he's having issues translating because it's just a difficulty. But what they're able to figure out from Babu is that it's very simple to program these nanodroids. It's just a simple, like a frequency that you can just emit and it would program it. But Babu, he has to make a unique one that, you know, the Empire, they wouldn't be able to hack or whatever. So he's making a unique frequency, unique to the Bad Batch and these group of clones. And so they're working on that. So then it cuts to Crosshair in the firing range in the ship, and so he's in there and he's doing target practice, and he's getting really good with his mechanical eye or whatever. And I don't know why, but like when I was like picturing this scene of him in the firing range, I kind of pictured Katniss Everdeen in the second movie where she's like, it has like those gold blocks like making people, and she's like swinging around and shooting them. For some reason, I kind of was picturing that. So he's kind of like doing like 360 no scopes, like
okay,
stuff like that.
Gosh.
Like he's getting really good at getting with his new eye. So
gotcha.
Wow. Way to take me back to.
Is his eye more like? Is he able to like see more like like what's that lizard? That like their eye can go up. Chameleon. Like more of like
it's not outside of his head.
No, it's just like Wolf has like the same eye.
Yeah.
Oh, Commander Wolf. So it's just like an eye in there.
Ruin my imagination.
Okay, Drew, can you imagine Crosshair, the complications that would have if he had a chameleon eye?
Hey, I just wanted something cool, okay? Like he can push a button, his eye pops out, he can see all around his head.
Oh,
that'd be dope.
Jeremiah, I was gonna say you took me straight back to Rust on Modern Warfare 2 with that reference.
What the
360 no scope.
I appreciated that.
You're welcome.
Jumping off the top of the tower. Anyways, also, does your Hunger Games reference mean that we're going to be starting a Hunger Games podcast at some point?
We could. I really like those movies, especially the first two. So we could. Let us go on. Just if you're listening to this and you're part of Discord, cast your vote in the general text thing if you want.
I can hear resounding no's beginning to flood.
So
into
either the new Hunger Games, the old movies will start a Hunger Games podcast, or we'll start a podcast about the new Lord of the Rings series that's about to come out.
I don't care.
See.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
All right, back to our normally scheduled programming. So Crosshair, he's getting really good in the firing range, and he and like people like Hunter and others think that he's ready to go back on missions and be in the action. And so Wrecker, he's super excited about this. Like his best bud Crosshair, he's back on the team, and he's like, remember, like I told you, it was never about your eyesight. It was about you being engineered to stay calm and your ability to do that. So he's super excited for that. But in the midst of his joy of this, it cuts to that there are still a lot of clones that have been saved that have mixed feelings about this whole thing. All season long, there's been a lot of clones that have been having mixed feelings about what their mission is, what they're doing, how to deal with this. Like some of them are like they don't know what to hope for, like what's realistic, and a lot of them are like, I don't want to be on the run my entire life type of thing. But Hunter, he's just doing his thing where he's like, we just gotta do these nano droids. Like this will work. This is once we can get this going, you'll see the fruit that our mission is going to be producing. And they're kind of still like, okay,
runs.
Huh? Melu runs?
Yeah, Melu runs.
Hera's favorite.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
So cuts back to the medical bay area where the team is working on nano droids, and they're using samples from removed ships that they've already removed through surgery to try and work with those samples and the nano droids to see how the nano droids react to those tissue samples that have been removed. And so but it's not really working the way and as smoothly as they would hope. And so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They don't know what the issue is, and they're like, this doesn't make sense because we know the genetic makeup of this biochip. Like it should be easy because we programmed it to recognize it. And so Rex, he's like, well, remember, like the chip is not fully human. It's like has split DNA, and it must confuse the nano. Like he doesn't know anything about medical stuff or his tech stuff, so he's just kind of throwing out ideas. And someone else suggested, maybe we need a pure DNA sample from the foreign species that's part of this, so we can, hone the attack of the nanodroids. And one of the medical clones, he's like, do we know what the other species is spliced into the chip? And the lead medical officer says, we do. The species is known for its aggression and is from the planet Chogana. The species is called Nexu. And Rex is like, well, if we get our hands on a specimen, could we just use those?
Okay.
Could we just use those to better program the nanodroids? Right? Like we could do that, right?
Our hands on a specimen.
Babu is like, hey, you got it. And Tech is like, looks like we're going to Chogana, then hunt down some Nexu.
All right.
Okay.
So,
well, here we go.
Are you excited? So,
yeah. Okay, so hold on.
So the Nexu is the cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if for some reason you don't know,
scene in Attack of the Clones.
Yes, the one that scratched her in the
Padme in
the back, and she did that scene.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that scream like that. It wasn't like that.
But it was like somehow she got scratched in the back with no blood, and her arms.
There was blood.
There was blood.
There was blood on her back. There were. Okay. When do you know blood after a scratch like that to just immediately start?
Do you see how big that?
This isn't anime.
Okay, but I'm just saying that was a lot of blood. That was like, what's that ninja movie?
Ninja Assassin.
I wanted to see that kind of blood.
Okay, did you know? Wait, really quickly.
PG movie.
Drew, did you know that the main character in that movie is Rain, the K-pop legend?
No.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Nani?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Anyways, that's a good movie. Go watch it. It's not really that good, but it's just fun to watch and like
it's very gory, but it is fun to watch. Yeah. Anyways, Jeremiah, we're hunting Nexu. One of the people in the chat said the cat rat.
Yes, the cat rat.
He's 100% correct. Yep. It's like a cat with a rat tail and
So the cat rat.
All right. So, they're gonna go to the planet Chogana in hopes of finding a Nexu to help with the programming of the nanodroids. And so the Bad Batch, Rex, plus a team of 20, and we'll be going on this mission. But Echo will stay back because the planet Chogana is a forested planet. So his specialty of hacking into systems and stuff won't be useful in this situation. So
yeah, sure. I could see that.
He stays back. And so they take 2 ships to this planet, and they arrive at a large town, and they kind of go, far away from the town and land, and so there's tree cover and whatnot. And so picture this, the people here in the town, kind of like a somewhat primitive people.
Now I get it.
Why they have to
paint up? The gift that I sent. Now I'm beginning. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Anyways, keep going.
And so the picture of it, they're kind of like primitive people. I kind of think because of the forested planet that the buildings are kind of like log buildings, log cabin type things, where it's kind of just like that, and not a lot of like technology. And so the clones, they arrive to this town, and obviously they're, high tech people like clones. And so like these people are kind of like, what are you kind of doing here? Like, this is our town, this is our planet, why are you here, type of thing. And so they're not giving up, like the natives aren't giving any information to them about anything. So, all right, we're just going to trade some of our supplies that we have on hand and try and get information. So they trade supplies to find out where they can find some Nexu. And they...
it's in the Nexu town over.
It wasn't too bad actually, but
That's
it just
one.
came out of nowhere for me. I wasn't ready for that one.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
So they figure out and learn from the natives that it's a 6-hour hike to a major Nexu like nest or den or whatever you want to call it. But they have to hike in because if they fly in, then they're just gonna get scared off and scatter, and then you're not gonna be able to.
Gotcha. Their jet engines are too loud to scare them off.
Yes. So, but once they can get a specimen, and the hunt is over, their ships would just be 10 minutes away to fly in and pick them up. So it's pretty easy extraction. And so, and they learn also that the nest is kind of like down into like a cavern or ravine, and they will attack anyone that comes into their nest. So picture a cavern or ravine, kind of like where Obi-Wan finds Luke, or where in the Mandalorian season 1 episode 2 when the Trandoshans attack Mando and the child, like kind of something like that. It's like kind of like weird rocky walls, ravine type of thing, narrow space. And so that's a 6-hour hike, and they are going to leave first thing in the morning, which would be 10 hours from now. So keep in mind 16 hours. That's very important for this episode.
All right, 16 hours.
And so they go around town, and they, look for supplies on stuff that they might need. So nets or camo. So this is where Wrecker gets his paint, and he starts putting the marks on his skin, like in the Arnold Schwarzenegger GIF that you GIF or GIF? What do you say?
GIF.
GIF. Okay.
GIFT.
Oh, gosh. All right. So while they're doing this,
anyways,
while they're getting their supplies for this and it's going around town, there is a droid in the town that sees them, and they see it sees the members of the Bad Batch specifically, and we see that the droid transmits a signal. And this
what kind of droid is it? What are we talking here?
Droidica.
Very, very similar to the droid in The Force Awakens in Maz's castle that transmits.
Oh, the little thing on the one wheel?
No.
Are you talking about? No.
Wasn't it on one wheel?
Are you talking about?
You're talking about
from
Dio.
episode 9?
What? No, hold on.
Put it in your background. Put it in your background.
Yeah, change that background.
Yeah, put it in your background. Show us what you got.
I don't even know if you could find it in a picture of it, but it's in Maz's castle that transmits to the Resistance, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure it was on a wheel.
I thought it was just sitting down.
Yeah, I have no idea.
GA9. Okay, here's a quick side rabbit trail. GA97 is the droid's name. Biography. Let's go to the biography section.
Oh gosh.
Okay, that doesn't
Perfect.
help me at all.
Perfect. Anyway, so it transmits a signal, and so as a fan watching this scene in the show, we're like, "Uh-oh, this isn't good." Because who is he? What is it transmitting a signal to, and why? Type of thing. And so night passes, and it's daybreak, and so they go.
He has legs. I'm sorry. I thought he had a wheel. I'm sorry.
Thank you for your insight, Andrew.
I failed everyone. Please forgive me.
So it's daybreak. The 10 hours have passed since they were getting ready to leave, and so there's 5 of them are going to stay back with the 2 ships just because they need people staying back. And so the rest of them, they go on this trip or this hike. And so during this hike, Rex, he's just talking with some of the clones, and it's kind of him having kind of like a depressed moment because You know, when Fives discovered the biochip, and in that whole story arc in Clone Wars, the Kaminoans said that the biochip was implanted to reduce aggression, and that was the whole purpose of it. But Rex is like, you know, this Nexu is known for having aggression, and so he's like, this chip wasn't put in to reduce aggression, it was to create aggression, and this is how the Order 66 was so aggressive and how it just took over. Is it did the opposite of what Fives was told, and so he's kind of like depressed about this whole. The more he learns about this plan of the biochip that was placed in him, and so it's kind of like a philosophical discussion that he's having, and so they're doing this as they're hiking to this Nexu nest. And so 4 hours into the hike, so this is 14 hours into the 16 hours I told you about, it cuts to Tarkin in his office. And he has a team working on stuff, and they're looking at holograms and stuff and information about the attack on the tech facility and all that stuff, and trying to figure out what went wrong, like how did they get in, what would make it so easy, like why would they need nano droids. And so while this is happening, an officer rushes in and says, "Sir, a surveillance droid in the honor room sent us a transmission 14 hours ago from the planet Chogana. It is the Bad Batch." Tarkin says, 14 hours ago? Why am I just hearing this now? And the officer says, well, not too long ago, the Bad Batch, they destroyed all those communication relay stations when they attacked and saved some of those clones. You know, they destroyed those, and because of that, you know, the radio signal had to go around that empty space rather than just going straight through. And he's like, the transmission towers haven't been rebuilt yet. And so Tarkin's pissed, and he's like, I need you to send a destroyer to Chogana immediately. And the officer says, right away, sir. But we have a light cruiser that is the closest ship we have. It's only 2 hours out. And Tarkin says, send that and the nearest destroyer now. You, bring up everything we got on Chogana. We need to find out why they are there. So this 14 hours in, and their closest destroyer is 2 hours out, which would bring it to 16 hours. But the light cruiser is less than 2 hours out. So it cuts back to Chogana on the hike towards the Nexu nest, and they're getting near to the coordinates. So they're in the area, but they're not sure exactly what they're looking for. And so Hunter stops everyone, and he kneels down and he touches the ground with his hand, and he's like, we're close. I can feel their heartbeats. There's at least 25 of them. And everyone's looking at each other like, oof. When we thought of a nest, we're like, oh, you know, there's Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. Like, it was like they were like not expecting 25. And so they turn around kind of like a corner area, and they find the ridge and the ravine going down to the ground. And Tech, he scans the dense rock that this ravine is made out of. He can see there are openings going into.
Wait, Tech does?
Yes.
You said
didn't
Tech
say?
come?
No,
yeah, you said
no. It's Echo.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I thought
I could have sworn you said Tech.
I think you did.
Because you were like, because there's no Tech on the.
No, ask the people in the chat. Did I say Echo or did I say Tech?
But I thought it
right.
too.
Huh?
I thought you said that too.
That's okay. We understand what you're saying.
Well, it don't matter.
Recorded, we'll go back and we will see who is right. I'm pretty sure I said if I win a $500 million or more thing, I'll bet it all on it right now that I said Echo.
Wow. Oh, Andrew, we can split this. We can split this.
I could do a lot with 250 million.
Dude,
right.
so can I.
So they find Tech. He scans the dense rock of this ravine. He can see that there's many caves and tunnels, but he can't see he can only see the openings because it's so dense. His scanners can't really scan much else. So he can't scan for the bodies of the body heat of the Nexu and whatnot. And so they scout the area, what the ravine looks like and whatnot, and this is their plan. The Crosshair is going to be on top with a spotter, and 8 more are going to be around the perimeter on top of this ravine, and then the other 10 are going to go down into the ravine and draw out, I should say, the Nexu from the caves and whatnot. And so when they start coming out, the plan is if you see them, just shoot to kill. Like, don't even try and capture them. Like, we're just gonna. There's so many of them. We're just gonna. If it moves, shoot. So you got people on the ground shooting and people up on top shooting, and so everyone moves into position. And Hunter, he scouts it out, making sure everyone's in position, and he's all right. We're good to go. But just as he's about to give the go, clones from the ships that stayed back in town radio in. It's like, we have a major problem. Look to the sky to the south of your position. And they look up and they see that a light cruiser has entered the atmosphere and smaller ships are flying down into the town. And everyone is freaking out because they have been discovered. Like, the Empire are there, they know they're there, and they're like, how are we gonna get out of this situation type of thing. And Hunter's like, well, we still have the mission. We have to do this mission. If not, there's no way we can save our brothers throughout the galaxy. And so he's like, we're far enough from town right now where they can't see us. And also, when we're, shooting our weapons, we're still so far away, they're not going to even hear us. So, they don't know that we're this far away from town. They won't be able to find us because it's this huge area. And so, and the 2 ships that they have, they're far enough from town where it's going to take time for them to even find them because they're not just in town. They're way packed up in the woods, under trees, all that type of thing. And so he's like, we're going to do this. We're going to go forward with the mission. But Hunter, he radios back to the people and he's like, get ready. We're about to be, we're at the nest right now. We're hopefully gonna be done in a few minutes. This is what he's planning. But everyone's still nervous. So the people back in the ships, they're getting ready to at any moment's notice just to get in, turn on their ships and just go for their position as fast as they can. So Hunter sees everyone's in position and gives them the go. So the 10, they go down into the ravine and start to walk the length of the ravine, and it's again, it's classic, eerily quiet, tumbleweed blowing by. You hear a crow in the distance and a jump scare type of thing. Yeah, it's they don't know what's going on. They're super nervous, and when they're going through, out from one of the caves, 2 little Nexu kittens run out, and they're play fighting. They're play fighting, 2 bros just wrestling.
It's about to go down.
And one of the clones shoots them both.
No.
And all the other clones were like, "Why did you do that? Why did you shoot them?" And
I'm with the other clones.
And he was like, "Well, we were told to shoot anything that moves." And they're like, "That means Mama Nexu is right behind them."
You done effed up. Hey, yeah.
And so Mama Nexu crawls out of the cave just pissed. And when they see her come out, all the other cave openings, they see more Nexu crawling out.
Oof.
and Hunter just yells at the top of his lungs, "Open fire!" And then it's just mass hysteria. It's just chaos.
Dang.
Nexu, they're running around. They're taking out clones. They're running on the walls. Like they're equipped for this. Like they can this. They're so fast, and clones are getting pinned in like their own little crevices. Like they're just getting destroyed. And the clones on top of the ridge, they're doing their best to give back up from up there. And Crosshair, this is his time to shine. This is what he's been training for. Like I'm ready to go. And so he's up there, and he's kind of struggling a little bit. He's missing shots.
No.
And he sees one Nexu running behind towards a clone from behind, and he's getting ready to lead his shot to take that Nexu out before it attacks the clone. And while he's doing this, he has a flashback to when his eye got shot out, and he misses his shot. The Nexu kills that clone, and then Crosshair starts to do heavy breathing, and he's having a panic attack, and he's freaking out. And
dude, he was so like locked in to season 1, like to see him so like that's such a different character develop.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because like what we know of Crosshair, right, is like he is the chilled, dialed in kind of person. Like his personality is very like, all right, I got this. I'm focused. I have this. And to have him have a panic attack when the moment he dropped the ball and now he has to live with that, he's going to have so much, like, I like where you're going with this, Jeremiah.
I do too. Yeah, that's good.
And so the spotter that is next, right next to Crosshair, he gets on the radio and says, something's wrong with Crosshair. He's freaking out right now. And Hunter, he yells at Wrecker. He's like, Wrecker, get up there right now. See what's going on. And so Wrecker, he just gets up. He starts running to the path to go up the ravine. And when he's running up the path, 2 Nexu jump down from the walls onto the path. And so Wrecker's like, I have to get through these 2 Nexu to get to my friend Crosshair, who's like, he doesn't know what's going on.
Have you guys seen that video that was like, it kind of went viral a little bit on like Instagram and Facebook of he was like jogging. This guy was jogging. I think it was in California or Colorado, but he was jogging, and he saw 2 kitten mountain lions.
I didn't see this.
And then
you're talking about Tiger King.
No, stop. I'm telling a good story here. Oh my gosh. I'll try to find the link to it and I'll put it in the Discord. But anyways, This guy is filming his jog and he sees 2 kittens and all of a sudden Big Mama comes out and Big Mama chases him for 5 minutes down this path as he's running backwards yelling at him.
Are you talking about the one where he's filming it and he's
like,
no.
It's like
okay.
I guess I've seen clips of that. Yeah.
And then he threw a rock at it at the end. But like when you said that, those 2,
I would have peed myself.
I would have, because you can't turn your back on it, right? But like when you said that, that was the first thing that came in my head. I'm like, oh, game over. Mama's around. Also, like then you just said they dropped in the path. I'm like, they can't turn their back because then they're gonna get a Padme situation on their hands. So like, so it's like they have to just like slowly walk backwards and tell it no. Oh. The visual is real right now.
All right, so 2 Nexu are in the path, and Wrecker's like, I have to get through these 2 to get up to my friend. And so it kind of reminds me like in the Bad Batch episodes in Clone Wars when there's that scene where he kind of like puts his helmet down and like puts his fist together and he goes in this like
he says I'm gonna wreck it and then
he basically did it. He does the same thing and he charges after these 2 Nexu, and he just Hulk smashes them. He just grabs them, throws them against the rocks, and just like tackles them and like kills them like with
grabs them by their rat tail and just swings them.
Yeah, there's that too. So he gets up, so he kills them just with his hands basically and strength.
All right.
And he gets to the top, and Crosshair, he's kind of sitting down, leaning up against a tree, crying, like freaking out.
Wow,
and,
crying.
And so you can tell that he's having like a PTSD type flashback thing going on right here. And so Wrecker goes to him, and then it cuts back down into the ravine, and Hunter gets on the radio, and he orders this 8 remaining clones that are on top of the ravine to get down and come down and flank the next two, because they're being pinned right now and they can't do anything. So the 8 on top, they quickly gather up there. They run down the path together, and they just start shooting at the Nexu. And then so the Nexu, they turn around, and so now the Nexu are between 2 groups of clones, and so they're kind of the Nexu are pinned in between this, and so they start shooting. So there's a big fight, boom, 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 and a few more clones dies. And
Jeremiah 2021, big fight, boom, boom, boom.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here, folks. And so a few more clones die, and then it's quiet, and it's over. All the Nexu are dead, and there are clone bodies everywhere. And so
they didn't get anything that they were there for?
No, they killed all the Nexu. Like, they just needed tissue samples. So
okay.
So 9 clones died in this, but they were able to kill 33 Nexu.
Damn.
And so it's just kind of like all over the place. There's dead Nexu, and then there's 9 dead clones laying on the ground.
Is it canon that Nexu like live in packs, or is this kind of like your own fan fiction thing?
I can't remember. I read up on them, but Chogana is where they're actually from, so that's canon.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they live in packs, but
okay,
they do in this universe.
Oh.
So Hunter, he radios in back to the ships, and he's like, give us an update. What's going on? And so the clones that were back, they were kind of scouting from the trees, like, what's going on in town. And, there's Imperial clones. They're going through the town door to door, looking for all this, looking for the Bad Batch and whatnot. And, the clones are like, well, they're just in town now, but they haven't left town or searched to widen their parameters of their search yet. So, but it's just a matter of time before they start, working their way into the woods. And so, if the good clones, they get in their ships and go fly out, like, they're going to be seen, obviously. And so, like, they don't know when they can go. But then Hunter's like, but we got to do this quick, because, before these Nexus start spoiling, like, they're dead. Like, they're going to start rotting really quick. And so, like, we don't have a lot of time. We have to go, like, right away. But then he also understands that if he goes, they'll just be torn apart, because there's a light cruiser above the town in the atmosphere ready to, like, do anything. Mm-hmm. And so one of the pilots suggests using one of the 2 ships as a distraction. And so he says, I could take this, jump in the ship, and fly in the opposite direction of where you guys are now at the nest. And hopefully that would draw the ships and maybe the cruiser in the opposite direction of where the second ship would go towards. And, they're kind of thinking, I don't know, this is still too risky, blah, blah, blah. And the pilot says, well, in the direction that I would fly, there is a mountain ridge. And so if I can get to the mountain ridge and turn the corner of the mountain ridge, then any pursuing ships would also have to turn that corner, and then you'd be even better, because they would have to turn all the way around, go around the mountain again to get to you. And so, they're thinking, it's risky, but, like, we don't want you to sacrifice your life like this, blah, blah, blah. And so, and another thing that comes up is, well, if you, make the sacrifice and be a distraction, we only have one ship, and we can't fit everyone on the ship, plus the dead clones that are laying here, and
just leave the bodies. They're clones.
And
come on,
gosh,
never leave a brother behind.
With their regs.
Drew. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. This is not reflective views of the overall Empire Radio podcast.
And so, like, everyone's just kind of like in a very depressed state because there's no good option really. And so, but if they do this, they're gonna have to leave their dead brothers behind. And so, Rex suggests, there's 5 of you with the ships right now. It'd be best if, rather than just having one person be a distraction, 3 of you go into one ship as a distraction, because, if you have to be in hiding, if you land and hide or get shot down, you have to hide. It's better to have a team of 3 than just to be alone by yourself to like fight back or whatever. So, 2 more, they say, if we want to do this, we'll go. And so they got the 3 that are willing to go be a distraction. Everyone kind of looks at each other and, all right, this is what we have to do. And that's the plan. They're going to go for this. And so the distraction ship takes off towards the mountain range, and ground Imperial clones, they're on the ground. They see it radioing in, and the light cruiser starts firing from above the town, and it's starting to slowly turn and, move in that direction of the mountain range. The Imperial clones, they load up on their lats, and they start pursuing the distraction ship as well. And so the distraction ship, they're, zigzagging, trying to make it hard to get hit, take damage. They're taking superficial damage, but nothing, drastic. They are able to get to the mountain ridge and turn the corner, and the lats, they turn around the corner as well. And the rescue ship, so the remaining ship, the good clone ship, is, they're watching this happen. So they see the lats turn the corner as well, and they're watching the light cruiser as it's turning and moving towards the ridge. And they want to see, like, kind of like they directly want to see the back of the ship. That way they know it's completely 180 degrees turned away. So it'd be the longest time it would take for them to turn around. And so they're waiting. And right when they feel that it's in position, they turn on their ship, they get up, and they just, boom, book it towards the ravine, 10 minutes out. And so the crew on the light cruiser, they see on their scanners that a second ship is escaping, and they order the lats that turn the ridge to turn around and get and pursue them. And so while this is happening, so the ship, they're rushing to it. The lats, they turn the corner, so they're in a pursuit. But the good ship, they're in a good far distance ahead. So they get to the ravine, and they land, and they start quickly loading up, and it's boom, 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 and so as they load up, they take off, and they start. What? You guys are just laughing about something.
No, so
boom, boom, boom.
Did anyone ever, either of you ever see Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century? It's a Disney Channel original movie back in the day.
Zetus Lapidus.
Oh my gosh!
That's the only thing I remember from that whole movie, but I've seen it.
There's a song. There's like a pop star in that movie, and the main line of that song, the hook is boom, boom, boom. And I heard that every single time.
Oh, really?
See, it reminded me of Bang Bang Bang, but that's only a reference that you would know, so that's why I didn't say anything. But
yeah, wow. If anyone knows what Drew is talking about with the song Bang Bang Bang, leave us a message.
I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't.
Maybe you would know it. You would know if you did.
All right.
Anyways,
so they load up on the ship, and they take one Nexu carcass. That's all the room that they have.
Band name. Nexu carcass.
No, that's a hit single.
Oh gosh.
Come on.
No, Boom 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 is the hit single of Nexu carcass.
And it's a folk band, right? It's a folk band.
Yeah.
Yep. It would be funny if it was made up of like quintuplets or whatever, so they could be like clones. Like, did I ruin that? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So for the 10th time, they load up, and the camera angle that I pictured for this was it's down at the bottom of the ravine, and you can see the bodies of the clones and the Nexu, and you see the ship rising out from the trees and going towards space to leave the atmosphere. And so while this is happening, obviously the light cruiser is trying to turn and get there. The lats are getting close. And now remember, think about what Tarkin was saying earlier in the episode, because that's important coming up. And so they're getting towards space, and they get into space finally, and they're calculating a hyper jump, and one of the good clones says, "There's incoming from hyperspace. It's a destroyer." And a destroyer arrives, kind of like Vader's destroyer in Rogue One, kind of like that. They're calculating, getting ready to go. And so when it comes out of hyperspace, Hunter's like, "Get past that ship now. Redirect all essential power to the shields." And they just start booking it because they got to get past the ship really fast. So it's I kind of picture it kind of like Poe Dameron at the beginning of episode 8, when he's like, on the surface level of the big ship and trying to get past it or whatever. And so they're going as fast as they can, and it cuts to the bridge of the destroyer, and one of the officers is looking at the screen, and he's like, "General Cody, that is an escaping ship. That's Bad Batch right there." And General Cody, he's like, "Destroy them now." And so then there's just a barrage of fire from every weapon on the surface of the destroyer. And so you see like the meter on the display of like the shields on the good clone ship. It's just like steadily dropping down. And when it's like at 25%, like Hunter's like, "You need to take evasive movers now. You guys start zigzagging like crazy." And so they're doing this. They're still getting hit. Their shields get gone, like it's depleted. They're starting to take superficial damage, and then they get past the ship, and then they jump to hyperspace, and that's the end of the episode. Episode 5, Hunted.
Nice.
That was a good one. This is my favorite one so far.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. Well,
and we're an hour in, and I still have one more episode left.
Yep. That's partially mine and Drew's fault, but
Yep.
Don't.
All right. So what are you guys' thoughts? What do you think? Predictions, theories, analysis?
I thought it was great. I'm sorry. I'm kind of tired, and so I just want to listen. I don't want to predict anything, because like I like where the story's going, but I don't know where it's gonna go. Like I genuinely don't. I mean, obviously they've got the Nexu, so they got the DNA, but where from there? Who knows?
What do you think about the name drop of General Cody?
I mean, I always wondered what happened to him.
That's kind of depressing.
No, it's not depressing.
Why?
I mean, it only makes sense. He shot Obi-Wan off of the face of a freaking.
Sure, it's like it's still sad. Shot.
Anyway, it's sad that any of the clones are still deceived by the biochip.
Sure.
I guess he replaced General Kenobi.
Possibly.
Because he killed him, so now he's General Cody.
I think that you are reaching. You're kind of reaching for that one.
If he's in the same clone battalion or whatever, and they need a new general, and Cody was highly esteemed in the Empire.
We did have a question in the chat, Commander Cody, right? Yes, right. That's the same.
Yes. See.
Really quickly, you want to hear a quick word from our sponsor?
Sure.
Well, that might help wake you up, Andrew.
Oh, push play.
All right, here we go.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor for today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that they have a subscription service that gets those amazing coffee beans delivered to your door on an either weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly basis. Unfortunately, we're all being negatively affected by this virus right now. With that being said, what a better time to try some new coffee and support a local business. I know they'll greatly appreciate it, and we will too. After all, using the code Empire Radio with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, when you start a new subscription at wesleyandrews.cc, you'll get 50% off your first purchase. I can't think of a better deal. Get 50% off, support a local Minneapolis coffee shop, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it. You didn't like what I was doing, Andrew?
A visual aid for the
the visual guide.
Yeah, for everyone watching on Twitch and then
or
later
YouTube.
That's what I didn't forget. Drew was showing one of the bags of the special collaboration that our podcast did with Wesley Andrews called Rule of Two.
That was just a Photoshop, like the photo one, so it's actually not the same coffee inside of it. It's like old coffee.
Oh,
so it's just like I was like, I have the bag sitting around in the studio, so let me.
Well, we did do a collaboration.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and it was a special one because it was Wesley Andrews' first ever blend of two really bougie coffee beans, and it was also their first like collaboration with someone like us. And it's entirely Star Wars themed coffee. I mean, like it tastes like great coffee. It's not going to taste like Star Wars. I don't know what Star Wars would taste like, but
if Star Wars had a taste, it probably tastes like that.
Well, Star Wars tastes good.
Milk, but
no,
I've had blue milk at Galaxy's Edge.
Weird flex, but sure,
it tastes pretty good. Okay, Andrew.
So
still my line. Okay.
Yeah, I have personally had. I still have. I'm out of filters right now, sad day, but I still have some Rule of Two. It's very good. And if you missed your chance, either in the Mandalorian season finale giveaway or the batch that we sold directly following that, if you missed your chance, you want a bag of Rule of Two coffee specifically, you want to give that a shot, let us know either on Discord, if you're a part of the Discord. Make sure you tag one of us just so that we know that you did it. Or send us a direct message on Instagram or Facebook. You can comment on YouTube, but it would be preferred if you didn't because comments can kind of get lost sometimes. But just let us know. Once we get 7 people together, is there something funny, Jeremiah?
We have like 1 comment per video.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
Dang.
Sorry.
And the award for the person who can deflate the mood goes to
Jeremiah.
Anyways, what I was going to say is let us know. We have to have 7 people to roast a new batch to send out. And you'll get a number. We'll say, hey, You're number 3. You're number 4, whatever. And then once we get 7, we'll let you all know. You got to commit to it, though.
Yes.
We'll let you know. We'll roast the coffee. We'll get it shipped out. It's going to be really good. We have Tanner in our Twitch chat. He had a bag of the coffee as well, and he says the coffee was so good. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tanner. I mean, I didn't do anything with the coffee. I designed the bag, but I didn't roast anything. So,
but I did.
Thank you, anyways. Yeah,
Drew. I did the least amount. I just watched them do it.
Hey, but you wrote the Bad Batch fan fiction.
That is true.
And let's dive into episode 6.
Any other final comments from our viewers on Twitch?
No, but I will tell you that. Oh, actually, Tanner did say I liked it. Feels super realistic to the idea of war and living under attack. So there's some feedback. Cool. Those of you in the Twitch chat, keep those
chat coming.
I was gonna say save your thoughts and stuff for the end. We'll ask you again if you have any thoughts, but sure, keep commenting as well. So anyways,
Jeremiah, because I don't know if you saw us, but did you see Andrew's live cat walk across?
I did see in my peripheral vision.
It's my Nexu.
His Nexu.
Oh.
And he was rubbing his tail too.
I was. He likes to assert himself in between me and whatever I'm doing to get attention, which in this case is on my desk in front of my keyboard.
He's a little attention hog. I think I've only seen him once, but from when we talk, I'm like, oh, this boy.
But he's also really sweet and he's a cuddler.
Oh no,
and he's adorable.
It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough about Andrews.
Yes, Jeremiah.
So, episode 6 is called Final Test. So, it starts up on Chogana, and it's the Empire investigating the area.
So they're at the battle, the death scene.
Yep, they're at the ravine. They discovered the ravine. They see all the dead Nexu and the dead clones, and they remove the helmets of all the clones, and they see that all of them have the scar from the removed chip. And so Tarkin, he's pissed, he just missed him, and so he orders a team, find out the significance of the Nexu, why were they here, get everything we know, blah blah blah. And everyone's like, boom, boom, boom. They try doing that.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to the Bad Batch and the clones arriving back to the light cruiser, and them unloading, and everyone's pissed. They storm out of the ship. They throw their stuff on the ground. They storm out. Everyone's pissed. Everyone's sad. Crosshair, he's brought to the medical bay. And also the one Nexu carcass is also being brought to the medical bay so they can do tissue extraction and use it with the nanodroids to try and do some testing for that. And so the medical team, Babu and Tech, are able to, hone the programming of the nanodroids. What they discovered was the issue was the nanodroids knew the genetic makeup of the biochip, but they were confused because there were two different. They could tell that there was two different species mixed together, and so it didn't really understand what it was going after. And so because they had, they could use clone tissue samples and Nexu tissue samples, they could see the two different kinds, and then when they're put together, they could better understand what they were going for. So they saw promising results, and so they determined now we need to do some real testing. We need to capture some clones and put the nanodroids into these clones via digestion of water and food. We just have to capture them, feed them food and give them water that has nanodroids in it, and we have to see if this actually works. And so they get in contact with Wolf, and they're like, we need to find a location where there are clones that we can, get on where they are and capture them so that we can try out this nanodroid stuff. And so the next day, Wolf, he gets back with them with a few different options. There's different environments that they go to, different missions that these clones would be on, and, different, amounts of clones. Some, would have only a handful. Some would have like 200. Like, what are you guys looking for type of thing? So he gives these few different, options, and the team decides on a location where there's a small compound with 20 clones, and it's pretty far from other major systems. So if for some reason they got into trouble and the Empire was going in pursuit, like, it'd be a long enough time where they could, have some time before they would actually arrive. So it's far out into the Outer Rim, and the reason those clones are there is they are it's a drill site for raw materials, and they are using slave labor to do this work. And the clones, so the Empire is doing the drilling, and so the clones are there to protect the facility from natives on the planet that are trying to free, the slave laborers. And so their plan would be to arrive as reinforcements for a pending attack on this facility by pirates. And these pirates, they want to steal this raw material because it's very valuable. And so Wolf was able to help Tech create some orders from command and it would be like an emergency order to stop a pending attack. And so they would send this order to the compound before they arrive from hyperspace. And then when they get there, they would go down and they would have like the clearance codes and data pads and stuff showing that, we're here. This is what confirmation, blah, blah. And so this is what their plan is. And so when they get down there, they would jam communication. Classic. Like, you got to do that.
Yeah. Classic.
And so they know that there's 20 Imperial clones in this compound, and they're always, doing rotations and stuff through the night and whatnot. And so what their plan would be because they would arrive and say, all right, all the Imperial clones, you go in for the night and rest up, and we'll, do the patrols for the evening. And so while the Imperial clones are sleeping, that's when they would stun them and capture them and whatnot. And so to ensure this, what they would do is they would send 40 of their good clones to overwhelm the 20, just so they have good numbers. And then they would steal, the ships that they have at this compound. And then also, like, the Bad Batch would monitor everything from above. And so, none of the clones that went on the mission to Chogana would be going on this, because obviously they just went through a rough time and it's super, they're already tired and all that. So they need fresh, well-rested clones to do. So it's the first mission that the Bad Batch is not on. Andrew, you're like trying not to laugh right now, right?
No, I'm listening to you.
What? What's so funny? Anything? No?
Just keep going.
Okay. And so this is their plan. Like, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nothing is ever going to go wrong. This is Star Wars. Nothing is going to go wrong. Like, they have a good feeling about this.
Oh, wow. I think that might be the first time. No, it's not the first time
we've heard it. Han Solo said that in Solo.
Yeah, but
I got a good feeling about this. Like, he got excited.
Wow.
I just steal your thunder anyway.
I was gonna say, normally anytime that everybody's like, it's a piece of cake, Not what could go wrong. Something always goes wrong.
Yeah. So this is their plan. Everyone agrees on it. This is what they're gonna do. So they transmit, orders to this base while they're in hyperspace, and then they arrive from hyperspace. They land. The team of 40. They go down, and they meet on the landing pad area. And the commanding officer goes to meet them, and they swap information, make sure everything's good to go. Blah blah blah, and our good clones, they want a head count, make sure things going on good here. Like you don't have anyone missing. Like the pirates didn't already arrive and steal or kidnap anyone. Blah blah blah, and so everyone goes inside with the leadership, and they're discussing defensive plans and giving details to the threat level and what all that stuff. And so the evening rotation is going to start, and so this is when all of the Imperial clones. I wish I knew what you guys were laughing about right now. I can see you.
I was doing so good until Drew.
What is something in the chat?
Yeah. So
we'll tell you afterwards. Just keep going.
Yeah, we'll tell you. There was a meme. A meme's been made. It's been put in the Discord. Is
it about tonight?
Yeah, but we'll talk about it.
Boom, boom, boom.
Is my face in this meme?
Maybe.
Oh no.
Anyways, just keep going. I'm sorry. I was doing so well at not laughing until I saw Drew, and then I caved.
Well, I was like, "What are you laughing about?" And I read the Discord, and I was like, "Wait, hold up!" And then I went to the Discord on my phone. I was like,
"It's really funny." We'll tell you later.
Well, yeah,
I'll see it later. I like how you're laughing at my expense. Like I can't even see what's going on.
I mean,
but anywho,
yeah, keep going.
So we're at the. So did you guys miss anything while you guys were distracted?
No. I was actually listening.
I was listening literally until you said something.
Oh, okay.
So you're good.
So the evening rotation starts. So all the Imperial clones, they go inside to rest for the night, while our good clones, they start a perimeter and whatnot. And so, but they notice that one of the Imperial clones is missing. So earlier he was accounted for, but now he's missing. And so they kind of radio to him like, "Where are you at?" Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, he radios in, "Oh, I'm just in one of our ships doing a repair. I'll be in a few minutes." And so a group of the good clones, they, go to the ship just to check on him to make sure, he's getting things done. And the Imperial clone, asks for one of our good clones for a quick hand. Like, "Hey, can you help me, hold this up, while I'm doing this thing?" And so, sure. So they go in there, they're helping them. And while they're doing this, something comes undone, falls, and it kind of like like a teeter-totter something up from one end, and it hits the bottom of a helmet of one of the good clones. And it knocks his helmet off.
This man said, "What could go wrong? Nothing could go wrong."
And the Imperial clone looks up and sees the scar on the side of his head. And he says, "You're with Clone Force 99. And he gets on the radio. They're with Clone Force 99. It's a trap. Like type of thing. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
And so the commanding officer inside the building, he draws his weapon on, the clones, good clones. And he's like, and others in the room follow with him. Like they bring up their guns, and the officer says, "Remove your helmets." Because he just wants to make sure these are actually, he doesn't want to kill his brothers. He just wants to make sure what's going on. So take off your helmets, because he knows if there's a scar, then they're with Clone Force 99. And so then they're like, the good clones are nervous. Like, "What do you mean? We're fine. You don't need to worry about it." They're trying to talk their way out of it. And he's like, "If you don't take your helmet off right now, I will kill you."
Oh. And
so Bad Batch, they're watching this from the video feeds in their helmets, and they're seeing this all go down. And Bad Batch, Hunter's like, "Whether you take your helmet off or not, you're going to be dead." So you need to start stunning clones as now in this. You can't. There's nothing you can do. You gotta start stunning clones. And so then, boom, it just starts going chaos, and the good clones are just being slaughtered. Like they're just getting killed. And the good clones from the outside, they're on rotation. They're rushing into the compound, and they're still getting overwhelmed. And everyone in the cruiser is like freaking out. They're watching like, how are 20 of these Imperial clones like just completely destroying these 40 good clones? Like, how are they being overwhelmed? And so Bad Batch and a bunch of other clones, even though they're super tired from the previous thing, they jump in other ships. They rush down there. So there's 30 more clones coming down. So originally 40 came down, another 30 is coming down as backup, like to get in there. They land, they get into the building, and they help push back the Imperial clones. And they enter a large room where a bunch of clones have been killed, and there's still firefighting going on. And they realize that there is a clone commando there who is just dominating. He's just way better than everyone else, and he's just super efficient, and that's why the 40 are just being taken out so fast. And so they're still fighting, and eventually the good clones, they're able to stun everyone, and everything's done. And after this happened, 27 of the original 40 who went down were killed, and then 6 of the 30 got killed. So that's down 33 clones in just a few minutes.
Dang, that's like way worse than what happened on the other planet.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And so it was just chaos in this whole facility, and they load up the Imperial clones that they stunned. They got supplies and took their ships, and they got the bodies of the clones that were killed, and they returned back to the light cruiser. And everyone's even more pissed because they had bad intel. They did not know there was a clone commando there. And so everyone's like pissed at Wolf. Like, Wolf, he's compromised. Like, they know what happened to him. He gave us, like, they caught him. Like, they gave us bad information. Da 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 da. And Rex says, "No, he's my friend. He wouldn't do this." And Rex is this so torn because he had like, how can he defend Wolf in this? Like, he doesn't know what happened.
Because Wolf, that's a bad situation.
Okay, keep going, Jeremiah.
So they get all these clones that the Imperial clones subdued and brought to the medical bay, but also like they're thinking, okay, how are we gonna like put them in, like keep them locked up type of thing. And so while they're doing this, they scan the clone commando on his wrist, because clones, they have the information chip in their wrist, and they scan it, and it's CC-5576-39. And they're like, oh, and also a little note here, he goes by the name Gregor. So if you remember Gregor's arc in the Clone Wars,
I remember. Yes,
he was a clone commando.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Good
so we got
Gregory.
Wolf and Gregor are on the team now. So
heck yeah.
So the thing about Gregor is, other than that arc, where like, because we think that he dies in that arc, but like we don't know anything what happened to him. So like that was like the hardest for me to think of like anything. But he was somehow found by the Republic after he was thought to be dead in that episode, and he returned, and he was just back in the action. So
there you go.
There he is.
Very convenient.
Yeah, I mean, but I really enjoy it. It's a good point. Yeah.
And so, which is good because like, someone could say like, it's kind of easy that, Rex saw Wolf, like they were best friends and they just happened to see each other, but like no one ever knew Gregor, so it would be a random meeting. So they lock up the Imperial clones into 10 different rooms. So there's 2 Imperial clones in each room. And so then they end up waking up, obviously, eventually. And so they locked in these rooms. They are brought food and drink made with. Each room has a different concentration of nanodroids in their food because they want to see, how does the timing work on these? Like, do they just need a little bit and it'll be efficient, or they really need a lot to get it done in a good manner? So
right.
They're monitoring all the food intake and drink intake, and they're trying to find the balance of good speed, but also an efficient use of the supply of nanodroids. They don't want to use it necessarily all of it at one time or something like that. So they also monitor the reactions of the nanos in the system. Like, does it cause them to get sick? Does it cause any other side effects? And but their concern is like, how do we know when the biochip has been completely removed without scanning them? Because they can't just observe that. They don't know what that would look like. And so they do their experiment, and these are their findings at the end of the experiment. Their lowest concentration of nanodroids in the food and water took about 72 hours or 3 days to completely remove the chip from the system.
Dang.
But their highest concentrated food and water took an average of 24 hours to remove the chip.
Okay.
The side effects that were experienced were headaches, confusion, and discomfort in the second half of the time. And so this kind of looks like how Echo, his experiences were when his biochip was degrading on its own. He had headaches and was confused and had a lot of discomfort. And so like, okay, that's interesting. Like, it has the same effects type of thing. And they were able to notice that without being told any information during this, the Imperial clones were able to realize that they were not themselves at one point, and that they were returning to their normal self, their original self. So the personality that was brought about by the biochip is faded away, and they're back to their normal selves. But because they weren't given any information, they didn't understand the specifics of like what happened or what was going on. Like they don't understand. So that's what their conclusions are on the experiment. But also during the experiment, when they were monitoring, obviously Gregor, he was one of them, and during the experiment he passes out and doesn't wake up, and like, this is not good. And so they're able to rush him into the medical bay to figure out what was going on, and they do a scan of the brain, and they realized that he had there's a car alarm going off. I don't know if you can hear that.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
I was just distracted for a sec. But they realized that after the brain scan that he had previous brain damage. And so and this included damage to the biochip. And they figured out this would have caused some sort of like amnesia effect, which is what happened in the Clone Wars with his backstory, is he had amnesia because he had an injury when he crashed. And so his crash and his injury altered the biochip because it damaged it. And so that when the nanodroids went to go attack it, they weren't prepared for it, and so they kind of screwed up everything. So that's why he passed out and had a medical emergency. And so they didn't want to rely on the nanodroids for him specifically, because they knew that, it looked like the results of the others were promising. So they just put him into the surgery chamber and allowed it to repair what it could and remove the chip out by manually. And so he wakes up and he has his quirky personality that we see in Rebels.
Nice.
Because in Clone Wars, he was just a normal clone. Like, he had no personality defect. He was just like a normal clone. So this is how he has why he has a quirky personality in Rebels.
Nice.
And so, weighing all the information that they had from the testing and whatnot, they determined that the best use of their resources would be a middle ground of about a 48-hour concentration would be the best results. And they think that, if, they're go to Camino and they do this, they're also going to be showering, and they're also going to be, if they're training on that day or something, they'll probably drink extra water or something like that. And so they think, hopefully, that with this extra added intake of water and food, it would go down to about 36 hours where the chip would be removed. And so Hunter and Rex and the rest of the team, they look at each other and like, all right, we got it figured out. And so they contact Wolf and they say, we need a way onto Camino. We have to do that in the next, few weeks or something like that. Like, help us get to Camino. And Rex is like, all right, I'll look into it. I'll come up with a plan for you guys. And then it goes to them talking with Babu Frick and thanking him for his service and help. They put him on a ship, and they to bring him back to Kijimi. And that's the end of the episode.
Well, Frick, that was a good one.
So what else did you think, Drew?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was really sweet.
Yeah.
So a little nice ending at the end with Babu Frick going home. I was like, it was a hard 2 episodes. So
look, there's Babu Frick right there.
Like, we need a little hope and peace at the end.
That was good. That was really good. Yeah. I like the addition of Gregor, and hearing about a clone commando makes me want to continue reading my Republic Commando book.
Now, you did, in the first episode of season 2, you did make a prediction that there would be clone commandos. So,
I was right.
He was right.
You heard it there first, folks.
There it is.
So this would be a good opportunity while Drew and I are talking, for those of you in the Twitch chat, to say things. Get your thoughts together. Say, here's what I liked. Here's what my predictions are. Here's what would be really cool to see in the last 2 episodes of the season. Because next week, we're going to be covering episodes 7 and 8.
7 and 8. And do you want to know those titles before we get into predictions?
Yes, please.
Yes.
So,
please.
episode 7 was one of the titles that was blurred out on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the name of that title is The Last Batch.
Ah, okay. Okay.
And then the final episode is called Victory and Death.
All right. Well, I think I'll go first. I think the next episode is going to be similar to The Last Jedi, so let's just skip that and go straight. Okay. But for real, I do kind of think it's going to have a similar effect where it's going to be the crew of the Bad Batch without other clones. On a mission of some sort, maybe to try to get Commander, not Commander.
Wolf.
Yes. No,
okay.
Cody.
Cody?
But he's not Commander Cody anymore. It's
General Cody?
Or yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some. I really have no predictions for next because it kind of ended in a.
Well, I do.
Okay,
right.
well, go ahead.
So obviously, I think Jeremiah is gonna have us see an end to them using clones as stormtroopers.
Oh,
and
yes.
a shift to stealing people from childbirth. Class way of doing things. Yeah.
The right way to do it. Yep.
No.
Well, that was the last or the first order.
That is true.
The Empire
Empire recruited people. Yeah. Yeah, at least they were a little bit more humane.
Mm-hmm.
But I think so. My big thing is: are we going to see the end of that in episode 7?
Because it is called the last batch,
right? Which I'm thinking. Well, that could mean a lot of different things. It can mean that we're actually seeing the ending of the clone, like the cloning process and them using clones.
Oh, that's a good one.
But it could also mean it could mean like the start of like a 2-part story where there's more of a focus on them ending the cloning in episode 7, but they don't quite finish it. And then in episode 8, there's more of a firefight. They finally get things done and we have a resolution.
Because that would make sense because like the last batch of clones, and they're going to Camino, they're trying to make sure that there's no more cloning process. Because at one point it does end, and like why does it end?
Yeah,
and so
I think we know in Jedi Fallen Order, 5 years after Order 66, that clones are no longer in use and the stormtroopers. So sometime in that 5 years, that transition takes place.
Well, they addressed that in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2.
So it's not canon.
No, but
and apparently one of the comics in my research for writing the season, like a clone trooper in passing says something like, "Oh, I hear that they shut down cloning on Camino," or something like that. Just as a passing, but that's all the information I think we have on the specifics of that.
Is that canon?
I believe so. It's a canon comic.
Yeah, so I think obviously the last episode there's going to be a huge victory, but it's going to come at a big cost. I think we're going to see the death of at least one of the members of the Bad Batch in that episode. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those are my predictions.
Jeremiah, what's your prediction? Oh, wait.
Well, if we want, I have it. Well, here's the thing. I have the last batch full finish written, but I still haven't finished the final episode because it's super hard to get all these episodes to come together in one final thing.
Oh, wow.
So I've been like cramming, trying to make this make sense. And
he's literally taking our predictions and is like, huh,
yeah. So maybe we shouldn't say anything because then
if you want Darth Jar Jar to show up, let me know in the comments.
No.
Yes.
Twitch, anybody got anything?
How many do we have in Twitch listening or watching?
Oh, yeah, we got a big one.
Hey, there's Tanner.
There it is.
Okay, so we have a total of 3 viewers right now.
It's a slower night.
But there's a list. There's a list of way more people under viewers, so I don't know why it does that. But Tanner says, I think that the last batch is going to see the final batch of clones processed, which would be super cool. It makes sense if we see the Empire use them as slaves or whatnot. What do you mean it would be cool?
Hey, dude. Okay, first of all, we are the Empire. This is Empire Radio. You can find us on FM on Empire Channel 66.
What? Okay. And then or whatnot, and the Bad Batch goes to free them to have a normal life. But chaos will ensue. For the victory and death, I think in the process, I'm trying to read this from a distance. In the process of freeing the last batch, they will take heavy tolls of an important character or characters. Could be more than one character. We know who doesn't die, but that still leaves a lot of people that could die. So,
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Tanner. I appreciate it. That's what the Twitch chat is for. It's for interaction.
Yes.
For everybody listening to finally get on here and voice your opinion.
Correct.
And we might even read it.
Take a deep breath, dude.
Hey, it's fun. It's exciting. It's new. It's the new future of Empire Radio is more interaction, and we've been talking about that for a long time. And I feel like this is honestly the best way to do it, and this is the way that we're going forward with it as of now. So,
yeah.
But there is still other ways to connect to us as well. But before we get in that, what did Tanner say?
I was going to say Tanner also mentioned that it would just be generally cool to, see the last batch of clones process and then get a glimpse of that transition into recruiting versus cloning.
Oh, he said he had it all in one, but then Twitch made him put it in 2 separate ones.
Oh. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can have a thing in the chat, but so many characters. But sweet.
I was gonna say, if you like what you're hearing and you're caught up, come back next week. I mean, come back next week anyways, but come back next week. We're gonna be covering episodes 7 and 8. So we're gonna be wrapping up season 2 of Jeremiah's Bad Batch
finale of
fanfiction.
season 2.
Yep, the big finale. We're gonna get to hear the end of this story. There is a season 3. We know that. Jeremiah Productions has confirmed that. It's not a rumor anymore. We got that in an article earlier this year.
Gotcha.
It wasn't from Stupendous Wave, so it's huge.
Shots fired. Shots fired. And we're gonna move on from that. Dang it. So season 3 is on its way. It's gonna be a while, but it is in production to some extent.
Jeremiah, is it gonna come out before season 1 of the real Bad Batch?
See, here's my dilemma. Like, I know how I want the final episode to end.
Yeah.
Of season 3?
Of season 3.
Oh.
But my dilemma is
the 7 episodes before.
No, it's the scene that I want. I need to know how Echo fights. So there's a little spoiler there. But
so Echo doesn't die.
You heard it here first. Echo doesn't die, everybody.
His Echo is still hearing in the galaxy.
But I want to know how he fights it with how he fights, because last time we saw him, he's just a couple stubs and for arms and
no.
So I want to see that Bad Batch first season, the real canon one, and see how what he does, and so I can incorporate that into the episode.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if I just want to try and get it all out before it airs and see how right or wrong I was before any of this stuff comes out.
It's true, because I feel like you might add characters that you see in season 1.
So I'm kind of worried, but we'll see. We don't even know when Bad Batch is coming out. Sometime this year, but
true.
Maybe in a few more months I'll have season 3 done.
Real quick, do we want to talk about other things that was announced? That is, we don't know the date, but there was some Star Wars news this last week that we have not mentioned on the podcast.
Huh?
About
the video game?
Oh.
The open world Ubisoft?
Hey, it is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Star Wars is no longer with EA.
Well,
and let's get a round of applause.
Well, 2023 is when that contract is over, so we might not get any content until after that's done.
I don't think we're gonna get a Ubisoft title until around then, because it's gonna take them that long to build an open world concept. Because it has to be open world within multiple worlds, because of Star Wars.
No, not necessarily.
Well,
it could be all on Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, well then I'll give you my money right now. But I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts about that, because that's conversations that we've had in Discord, and if you want to have those conversations with us, feel free to join our Discord. That is the
Imperial Fleet.
On Discord. There's links in the bio on Instagram and in Facebook, I believe.
Yep. Pin comment on Facebook.
Yes. So, but yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. So, like I said, next week we're wrapping up Jeremiah's Bad Batch fan fiction, and then the week following, we are going to be discussing all things Light of the Jedi, the first novel from the High Republic series of novels. So, if you're planning on reading that and listening to that episode, here's your warning. You got 2 weeks, essentially.
Yeah, you got to read. Start reading.
So we're going to be doing that. And then we got some other fun things planned, including a special Valentine's Day episode.
Ooh. entitled
spoilers.
Do we want to tell the title of that?
I don't know. No, not yet.
No, not
Come
yet.
on. We love to have our fans wait on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, but it's going to be a special. It's going to be a special episode. You'll get to learn a lot more about Drew and I. For sure.
Not me at all.
And
well, that we know of.
Otis, you know as much as I do. How about that?
And that's the problem. No, I'm just kidding.
So, look, like Drew mentioned, go check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Even if you're not joining the Discord, give us a like and a follow because we will be posting things there from time to time as well. We do have a YouTube channel, Empire Radio, a Star Wars podcast on YouTube. All of the episodes that are being streamed on Twitch are also being recorded, and we are putting the video file from those up on YouTube as well. So if you missed the Twitch stream, you still want to see our faces for whatever reason, you can go over there and check us out. There's a lot of things that you'll miss if you just listen to the audio version, like me trying not to laugh earlier.
I was going to say, there is a sweet meme in our Discord, so go check that out. If you're listening to this, but you are involved with the Discord, go check it out.
Yeah, so anyways, we do have a YouTube. Stuff is being uploaded there as well. And like we've said many times, we do stream these live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Empire Radio on Tuesday nights, approximately 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can join our Discord.
There's no mountain time, so...
You're opening up that wound, huh?
Yep. I don't think she ever closed, but anyways.
All right. Well, anything else, y'all?
No.
All right. Well, you have been listening to another episode of the Empire Radio podcast. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
The Force be with you.
Always.